Hi guys, my name is Vinita Datta.
Hi guys, this is Rohan.
So today we're going to be talking to you about a very interesting thing that a lot of us forget to do when we're investing. To begin with, Rohan, a lot of us invest, which is now a common phenomenon, I'm assuming.
Sure.
But what most of us don't remember, forget to do, or probably don't even realize that they're supposed to do is the fact that you need to monitor and then rebalance your portfolio,
Sure.
which is something that a lot of people don't do. Some of us at least monitor our portfolio, but that's where we stop.
Sure.
But what you need to do is understand how your portfolio is performing, and if required, that occasional nudge in the right direction is something that we need to do. How
Sure.
that is done, I think you're the expert. You should tell them.
I think Vinita. Oh shit. Dude, so you'll edit out. You'll
I'll
edit
do
it.
that. I'll do that.
So just remember that it's at 50.
And it's still on.
52, like whatever.
Okay.
So I'll just start at 110.
Huh.
So yeah, I think that's a really valid point that you made, that a lot of people invest and then most of them actually check their portfolio,
Yeah.
but very few of them actually do portfolio maintenance,
Right.
where they are like looking at the portfolio and making the changes that are
Changes.
required. So with investing, the first thing to know is doing the investment is only half the job done.
Correct.
So when you buy a pair of shoes, your job's done. Like you start, but with investing, I would say rather than a one-time activity, it's an ongoing habit that you
Right.
do all your life. So, like your mindset should be attuned towards that it's an ongoing habit rather than a one-time activity.
Exactly.
And to answer your question, I'm going to get a little technical, but this is
Yeah.
important. So, please bear with us, guys. So, for anything, for portfolio balancing or investing, there is a very important concept that people should at least know what it is. It's called asset allocation. So,
right.
a lot of you may have heard of it, may not have heard of it, but I'll just give you a quick rundown of what it means. So, for some people who don't know, a portfolio is basically all your investments that you do. It's your collection, your entire investment universe called your portfolio. Now, when you do an investment, you basically need to choose where you would invest. So, where you invest is called an asset class. And there are two major asset classes, which are equity and fixed income or debt. There are other asset classes like gold, real estate, but for the sake of this video, we limit ourselves to equity and fixed income, because that's where most people put in their investable money. Like gold and real estate are things that people do from their where they that's their primary consumption item. So we don't include them in investment items.
Right.
So you must have heard this word equity and fixed income or debt,
I have.
but a lot of them haven't, Vinita. So I'll just give you a very simple understanding of what investing in equity means and what investing in fixed income means.
Correct.
So investing in equity just means that you're buying a part of a company
Okay.
where there are no fixed returns.
Right.
So if a company does well, its stock price does good. If it
Okay.
does bad, its stock price does bad.
Bad.
So you are exposed to both the good parts of the company and the bad parts of the company. So the value of your investment can go up and down. However, historically, it's always seen that in the longer run, if you hold the investment for long term, it always does well.
Well.
The other asset class is debt or fixed income.
Okay.
So think of that as you lending money to someone, to your friend, say, and saying that, hey, I need my money back, plus say a 10% or a 8% interest.
Okay.
So here you have no part in the ups and downs of the guy's life or the company.
Okay.
You just get your fixed payoff back, so which is predictable in nature, but it's also could be lower than equity return.
Okay.
So in finance, the more risk that you take, the more possible rewards you can make. So basically, equity and fixed income are the two asset classes, and you choose where to put in your money. So the asset, if you invest more money in debt or fixed income, theoretically your portfolio will always be safer. So say if you have 50% in debt and 50% in equity, as compared to say 20% in debt and 80% in equity, the 50-50 is a safer portfolio. So the more safety you want, the more money you invest in fixed income.
Okay.
So fixed income includes FDs, PPF,
PPFs,
debt
yeah.
mutual funds, anything that has a fixed or a predictable return.
Return.
Equity includes buying stock, buying equity mutual funds, anything that has a variable return. Now, the important thing to remember is, when you allocate to debt and equity, you use a time horizon as one of your. So if you're only investing for a year, you want to invest most of the money in fixed income.
Fixed income.
If you're investing for longer, you want to have a higher proportion of equity. So say you make those decisions and you invest. It is important at every stage. So I would recommend after every 3 months to check if your initial allocations are correct. So I'll give you a quick example. If you started a portfolio with say a 50% debt and a 50% equity portfolio, now after 3 months there are two ways this proportion can change. If the value of your equity portfolio increases significantly, automatically the allocation becomes more equity heavy. Or if your goals change, so say after 3 months you decide that money is more critical in nature, I need that money for a specific critical goal, you would want to invest more in debt. So say if the value of the equity increases or decreases, or if you want a different allocation percentage, ensure that you rebalance. So say if your allocation percentage is 50-50, but because of value changes your equity portfolio becomes larger, you want to remove money from equity and put it into fixed income, so that the allocation becomes 50-50 again. So this is while a lot of people might think of this as complicated, and it is at the start, but it is an extremely important thing to do. So a lot of people don't know this about investing, but asset allocation determines 90% of your return. So a lot of people obsess over choosing the best equity mutual fund, but just knowing how much you will invest in equity and how much you'll invest in fixed income actually explains most of your return.
Exactly, that helps more.
Sure. So my advice would be, instead of focusing or obsessing more over finding the best equity mutual funds, obsess or take time to find the best asset allocation for you on how much you want to put in fixed income and how much you want to put into debt.
Okay, that's great. So usually to have this done, don't we really need a proper financial advisor or somebody who can at least guide us in the right direction?
Sure, I think that's a really valid point. So a lot of people, now with online platforms, you can start investing on your own. It's no one's stopping you from doing that.
Right.
It's the same way that you can theoretically operate on your heart on your own.
Exactly.
No one's going to stop you from putting the scalpel in your body, right?
Right.
But because asset allocation and rebalancing and monitoring is so important, I would request all of you watching this video to ensure that you get some sort of financial advice.
Absolutely.
So especially for people who are not experienced with investing, or even experienced investors sometimes require a financial advisor to ensure that they are on track, that their psychological biases are not coming in between their investment decisions.
Great. I think we've sort of explained in a very nice way what it's like and why you should be rebalancing your portfolio. About the fact that we all need a financial advisor, I think you guys need to stay tuned for the next video, because that's where we will tell you how to choose the best or the correct financial advisor for your financial goals. Meanwhile, if you guys want to subscribe to our channel, you can find an icon on the left in the bottom. Please do click on it and follow us there. Thank you.
Guys.